Mic check. More Masters podcast. I was made, of course. I'm back. There's another Thinking Out Loud. It's been a while. I don't even know what number this is, honestly. I don't know once I finish recording, but yeah, we back. Another Thinking Out Loud, man. First and foremost, I want to thank all the supporters, listeners, new, old, people who listen, but maybe they don't subscribe. I'm not sure why or why not. Word of mouth listeners, people who just like the guests, so they listened and they stayed. I want to thank everybody who listened to the podcast, who share the podcast, that engage under any posts, any reels, engage in dialogue, share today's story, today's page. Definitely shout out to you guys. Without you, I wouldn't even be doing this at the level I'm doing this. So I want to clap it up for all the supporters. One more time. Give yourself a round of applause. Definitely. Very, very deserving. I love my support system. I love my supporters. I love everybody who love the podcast, from the ideas you guys give me, the guests you give me, the guests you lead me to, the guests you lead to me, how you support any ideas or endeavors that I take on, the Thinking Out Loud, stuff for my family, my daughters, even the lives lately. Shout out to y'all for watching the lives and engaging in the lives and leaving bunches of comments and actually just, getting to know me and other personalities that I bring on a live show with me. So I definitely appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I always say that, but I mean that for real. I appreciate every share, like, comment that I get. I love it. So shout out to you guys. Man, I had a busy weekend. I'm coming off of a high right now, so to speak. Which I don't want to get into that first, I think, but I definitely want to say I haven't done a lot of thinking out louds this year or last 2 years. In large part to I think just mentally, I ain't even been in a space to paint them kind of pictures like I was painting at the level I was painting these pictures at before. The way life was going before, and I'll get into that later on in the pod. The way life was going before, a lot of things happened. It was easier. I felt lighter. I felt better. I was on a certain kind of stride, and it was nothing for me to go in there and give a lesson. I was picking up these life lessons. I was in a certain space to even give that kind of game out, to where now I'm not necessarily in that space, but I'm also in the space of actually feeling some of the lessons I was giving out. So now I'm learning them, and I'm living in them. So it's hard to just come here, sit and talk, and then just walking into your purpose. It's always been about putting on for the city, painting the city of Augusta in a certain light, and highlighting things I like in the city, highlighting positivity that I like in the city, highlighting people's hard work in the city or in the outskirts of the city, and just highlighting the city in general. I'm always gonna prefer to do that. I prefer to do that rather than sit in front of a microphone and talk to you guys. Not that I don't like talking to you, but in the midst of all this podcast, in the midst of all content creating, in the midst of all of everything that got to do with the camera and the audio and this microphone, it ain't never been about me. It's always about we. It's always about Augusta. It's always about highlighting and painting that picture about more than the Masters. It ain't the main show, and it's not about me. So that's the reason why I don't do as many Thinking Out Louds, but they are therapeutic, and I do like doing them. It's probably one of my favorite things to do outside of interviewing somebody and being able to tell a story. So what do I want to get into first? So Austin Hearts, we gonna start there, man. Austin Hearts was amazing. Clap it up for everybody that was involved in Austin Hearts, man. For real. The Greater Augusta Arts Council did a great job. Shout out to Denise Tucker and the good folks over there. Shout out to Dorian Harris, Kig, Karen Gordon, the coolest. Shout out to all of them, and anybody who played a hand in the makeup of Austin Hearts. This was phenomenal. If you know me, Austin Hearts 2025 don't owe me a thing. Right? It don't owe me a thing. I want to start off with relationships, man. That's what I'm gonna start off with. And I don't mean boyfriend, girlfriend. That's cool too. I don't mean husband, wife. I don't mean, couple. I mean, you meet someone, you present yourself. They present themselves. You guys build a bond, and from there, y'all share resources. I mean, those kind of relationships. And I want to talk about that for a minute and why that's important. Relationships have gotten me where I'm at right now. Somebody messaged me the other day and it was like, yo, I appreciate, everything you do and the quality of work you put out being a one man band. And first of all, clap it up for me for that, right? Because technically speaking, I am, right? Stop. But at the same time, I'm not. I'm a man that values and protects and utilizes relationships. And I think that's what has catapulted me as far as getting certain interviews, getting certain quality guests, being able to put out a quality content. It's all my relationships. So I want to go into that for a second before I get into the arts and hearts. I'll start off with just I'm gonna say some names. I'm just gonna ramble off. So bear with me, y'all. I'll start off with Ken Makin, for instance. I met him. I was doing what I was doing. We did a podcast. He gave me some pointers. I kept that near and dear to me. Use those pointers to this day. I write down things. I jot down notes. Right. But that relationship, I was who I was. I was myself. I was my best self. That then led him on to talk about me in certain rooms and certain people. And now you have a credited guy saying, yo, no, this guy here, he's done something great. Relationship built. We share resources. Cool. Going further, I want to start producing. I meet Mo. She got conversations with Mo at the time. I meet people like Shay Good. I meet people like I'm gonna just use Shay for right now. Shay Good. Cool. I start producing Shay Good show. I meet people like such and such. And every person allowed me to meet more people. So of one relationship, I started to build others and build others and build others outside of those relationships I already had. So it's like a relationship tree. I'm just popping relationships, boom, 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 and to the point where it becomes word of mouth. And if you are who you say you are, and you're presenting your best self every time, and you're putting your best foot forward, you start to create a reputation. And so, whereas I'm a one band sound, I'm here doing the audio. I'm here looking at the audio, the camera, the lighting, and making sure everything good. The soundboard. That's all me. I'm doing that, right? Yeah, but at the same time, you know, a lot of these guests that I get on, I honestly haven't had to ask for a guest to come on Water Masters, and I don't know how long. A lot of my guests has been driven through people and relationships. To go into arts and the hearts, you know, shout out to David Beard. I did something for the Clash of the Clashes where I highlighted legendary players from certain schools to kind of restore that feeling of basketball and playing those games back in a certain time where it was very, very competitive, right? But also it's a clash. We're gonna have alumni. So I got alumni. We created that feeling. We did these feature podcasts with guests and in an attempt to promote an event. It was sports. I said, yo, I know Karen Gordon. Let me holler at her and see if I can do the same thing with Austin Hearts. What if I had a bunch of band members or a bunch of bands that's going to perform at Austin Hearts on the podcast, and we talking about, just how'd you become a band? How'd you learn to play this instrument? When did you start singing? Like just getting that feeling in, restoring that feeling in, creating a feeling to where people want to go enjoy music at Austin Hearts. Okay? Well, my first guest that Karen brings, Denise Tucker. Cool. I do Denise Tucker. Amazing individual. Shout out to her, by the way. We start to build a relationship because I did what I did at a high level. I think she liked that. She said, I heard of you. I know of you. Let's chat. We exchanged numbers. Boom. Relationship built. She said, Leon may be coming down. And I said, Leon, I'm like, from Five Heartbeats. I'm like, oh, that Leon. I grew up on Five Heartbeats. She goes, yeah. I think it'd be dope if we had you interview him. Okay. I'm not gonna say no. It's Leon. I ain't no idiot. Um, so cool. That happens. Well, I get Tara and the Snacks on here. Cool. I get New Age Sounds on here. Cool. All great episodes. Then I get Crystal Mendengal on here. Phenomenal episode. Well, it just so happens me and Crystal hit it off here too. We spoke, had a great relationship, and we started to do some further business together, building relationships. I get a text Thursday saying, hey, I forgot about you. Why don't you email this publicist and this handler for the weekend? They can get in contact with Leon and see about getting your interview. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I have forgot about it. I had said, hey, look, man, it ain't gonna happen. A lot of time people will tell you some stuff and they won't follow through. So I thought it was one of those things. I'm like, okay, cool. I won't interview him. Fine, right? But I look at the text message and the email is Crystal Mendengal's email. I'm like, well, I'm meeting with her Friday to film her performance. I could have asked her then. And for sure, she said, oh, yeah, I mishandled her. I'll hit you tomorrow and let you know. Well, tomorrow happens. 10:07, she calls me. Hey, what's going on? It's May. Hey, I'm with Leon. He's FaceTiming me. She's behind him. She goes, hey, man, he can do 30 minutes. Listen, y'all. I'm going to take 15 minutes, 10 minutes. This is Leon we talking about. Get him on the line. She said he can do 30 minutes. But you know, he gonna do between 2 and 3. That was perfect time for me. I was at work. I needed time to get ready. I said, perfect. Oh, that's cool. I could be there. She said, you know, be there 1:30 and just be on time. I want to know I was there at 1:00. I don't play about time management when it comes to the podcast. And that's how that interview comes about. I didn't ask. I didn't have to really reach out. Relationships got me that episode. And so I wanted to kind of just detail and tell y'all the importance of relationships, because without those relationships, I'll be struggling to get guests. I'll be fighting to get guests. But because I do a good job, I approach every episode the same. I do what I do at a high level, or I try to do it at a high level. It comes back to me tenfold. Everything comes back to me. Everything comes back to me. Everything I put out there, it comes back to me. I do favors. Even when I don't think a podcast should be done, and I do it and I approach it a certain way, and we're able to like really paint a good picture, built, relationship built. And that's what I want y'all to understand from that point. All right. I want to talk about the Leon episode. I got to talk about Leon episode. I'll be honest with you, man. That is like a dream come true to me. It's always dope to interview somebody you got a great deal of respect for. But besides that, he's somebody who, like, I grew up watching Five Heartbeats. I grew up watching Temptations. I grew up watching Above the Rim. Some of my favorite movies, Shepherd, you know, JT, David Ruffin. These are monumental characters in my mind, in my household, in most black households. So, you know, being able to interview somebody like that, of that stature, was definitely amazing. It was definitely nerve-wracking. I'm not going to say and lie to you and that like I was just all cool walking in there, you know. Nah, you know, it was definitely a learning experience. It was a great experience, and I felt like I did the best I could do within that 30 minutes. I will say this. I thought I was going to get 30 minutes, like 30. They stop at 30, right? But I think the 30 minutes started when they walked through the door, which is fine. I know that now. I know that for next time they'll just say, hey, come sit down. We ready to go. You know what I'm saying? But it was dope interviewing him. I learned a lot just in that small time, and just seeing how he moved and how he was trying to be on point, and it wasn't no asshole. He was very cool, calm. Told me, hey, look, man, just slow down. Which I don't know is this, because I didn't put it out. I'll put it out later on, months down the line or something like that. But the first minute, I messed up. I'm like, yo, mic check. One of the Masters podcast is your boy Bobby Boucher. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. I said, hold up. Let me bring it back. This is what I said in real time. And I'm like, okay, cool. I say it again. It's more than Mash. I got Mr. Leon Robinson. Now, see, this is my bad. I tried to make this episode as more than the masses as possible. So I didn't do a bunch of research. I didn't go dig up nothing. The one thing I looked up, which it didn't even say don't do, was his name. And that was his last name, because I knew him as Leon. Not knowing that that's what he go by. So I say Leon Robinson. He say, hold on. Hey, we're going to do that over. A one is just Leon. 2, word of advice. I like when he said word of advice, like, hey, you ain't got to take it, bro. You don't have to take the information. I'm just brother to brother. Word of advice, slow down a little bit. So when you go back to it, listen to my intro. I say it real slow and smooth, you know, and I thought that was dope. And it was a good experience for me, which I don't mess up my intros very often. But once again, I got Leon in the room, bro. Like, this is a big deal to me. I grew up mimicking him all my life, from the Temptations, or from the Hard Five Heartbeats first, then the Temptations. Like even reenacting that scene, like taking this too far. Like just like I'm addicted. Like it's just certain things that I always emulated. And so when you're around that person or around a person like that, of that stature as well, like I said, you know, you kind of jumpy a little bit. So, but I thought I did a great job. I thought it was amazing. It felt good. And once again, that all happened because of relationships. So shout out to Austin Hart, to Georgia Arts Council. I appreciate that. And I think just utilizing your resources, like even them, me being a resource to them to help promote Austin Hearts, and them being a resource to me to give me an interview that people I pay top dollar for, all because all just because I kept and I got and I utilized great relationships and I got great business regimen and I come approach what I do at a high level. I probably save about $5,000 just off one guest. Somebody would pay him a good amount of money to interview him, and I got that for free. I just had to walk upstairs. All I do is be on time. Just be on time. That's all I had to do. So to me, I liked it. I hope y'all liked it, man. And that's enough about that. I ain't gonna stay on that too long. Um, but you know, this year has just been a great year for More Than the Masters, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. This year has been a phenomenal year, and I hate to be, a broken record, but I do want to say this. Last year was probably one of the worst years of my life, mentally, physically, spiritually. Like I think I could say it now. I think I was in denial. I was really in denial last year, right? I think today in 2025, I can look back on 2024 and say I was broken. I can say that in 2024 I was broken, and I tried my best to not look it, not act it, not show it, and just be as strong as possible, or be as put together as possible. Um, and I did the best I could do, and that was, I think that was good. And I think if you know me, you might have saw some, difference, but for the most part, I think I did a great job. If you think I didn't, let me know. But I was broken. Um, I always give this timeline just because I don't know who's watching what, and I want to make sure people know when I say this. Like, I was at a place for damn near 10 years, almost a decade of my life. I'm working and I'm moving up, and things are going good for me, right? And then it's like one day I woke up and was on my own. Just one random day, I woke up, went to work, and it just wasn't no work no more. You know what I'm saying? It was like, we appreciate everything you did, but we got to move on from you. And that wasn't even the start of it. I never even got a chance to like really, I never got a chance to really sit in that. The same day that I felt like that happened, I went and watched my brother game. They won. We went home, and it was just back to the drawing board for me. And that was December 1st. December 6th, my daughter's birthday, and we say I'm happy it's her birthday. I'm just cruising really. I get a call. You got to come home. Well, found out my dad passed away that day. So now that's taken over, right? So lost my job, lost my pops, and it was rough. Like it was rough. I ended up landing a job, making more money, doing the same exact thing right across the street from where I worked there before. Like I said, my name, relationships, it got me there. Relationships got me there. I got a call. I had to apply to where got a call and say, "Hey, come interview. We heard about you. Can you come over here?" Like relationships, your name, reputation. That's what got it. But aside from that, not even not even maybe 25 days later, uh, my mom has a massive stroke, almost passes away. Massive stroke. Can't talk. Don't know who she is, where she is. Just is just all. So in just a span of 23 days, just a span of 23 days, I lost my job that I had for 10 years, what it was promising for me at the time. Lost my pops. And what was once my mom, I lost a big part of her. She's still alive, but I lost my mom. And that was just in the span of 23 days. and I lost a lot more. I lost a lot more when you think about, maybe so-called friends people you thought was friends rather, um, people you have in your life who, you do things for, you love, whatever the case may be. All these different relationships start to deteriorate, starts to fade, starts to change, and you just stuck because like I'm trying to process so much that happened in a span of 3 weeks. It's like boom, 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 and I felt like 2024 was me really trying to catch up to something that was just moving way faster than I could move, honestly. And I didn't want to accept defeat. I didn't want to accept the fact that, I say broken, and I think that's the right term for it. But I didn't want to accept the fact that it was a fall off. I think I was at the time I felt like I was just so high that, and the fall was just so quick that I didn't want to accept it. Looking back now today, I can say that 2024 was a broken version of me. And I talk to people and they say, "Oh, I didn't never notice. I couldn't notice." Well, some people met me in 2024. So I might just seem chill. I might have just seemed laid back, calm. I've always been outgoing, always been like, funny, always been a certain way. So some people that might have knew me and met me just met a broken version of me. But like I said, I tried to do the best I could do at that time. I still like to say, man, 2025 really showed up for me. Clap it up for 2025, man. Like you got to give 2025 some credit. I got to give 2025 some credit, man. 2025 has really been an amazing year for me when I think about milestones, uh, hitting goals, hitting a stride, and just getting back to a version of myself that I knew was still there. I just couldn't really find them. I went through some other stuff that I don't even mention and haven't even mentioned, like you know, dealing with something like betrayal, any kind of abandonment or whatever, dealing with things like that is tough when you ain't never dealt with it before. And so, just to put in perspective, like I'm dealing with the loss of parents, the loss of some any normalcy I knew with one particular job, a loss of a ranking, a loss of just societal things, a loss of an inner circle that you're not a part of no more, a loss of so many different things, and I'm still dealing with other personal things that I don't even speak on, which is like betrayal, which is like abandonment, which is like people you feeling like someone is viewing you differently now. Like it's so many things that I was dealing with at one time. I'm surprised I ain't crashed out, honestly, because I really felt ways about a lot of things and people. Now I've forgiven people, maybe. Right now, I've kind of forgiven them, but I really don't think it's so much forgiveness as much as it's like I just moved on. And that's what I think 2025 was for me. 2025 was like a year of like moving on from something that really people and things that really didn't serve me, or that just moving on from something, and if it come back, it come back. If it's postal, it's postal. If it don't, it don't. Like I'm not that person. I'd be like, I'm never gonna talk to you again. F you. Granted, I will never talk to you again, and it could be fuck you. Like, but I'm not gonna say that. Um, I think it's power in the tongue, and naturally, I've never been a person that a relationship failed, whether it be a friend, a foe, romantic, just business, whatever. I've never had any relationship that failed or that that stopped existing or that ceased to exist, and it was bad blood, or we just didn't speak, or we weren't cool. I typically have always kept a clean name. My reputation is great, in my opinion, and so I never had to deal with like, oh, F you, we not gonna speak again. We had a falling out. I never had to deal with that. Only with men, really. And men usually don't talk to me no more once I put them in their place. That's the only time a man stops talking to me is when I put somebody in their place. Women like that stuff, so they, they don't really stop talking to me. They just be like, hmm, you know? Um, but yeah, 2025, man, it's really been a great year for me. From the jump, like just consistency, just the level of podcasting I've been doing, the type of guests I've had on, the quality of guests I've had on. And I don't mean quality like they have to be famous. I'm just talking about quality, like, damn, that was a good episode. Damn, that was a good episode. That kind of year. Um, even blending resources like getting with Dorian. Shout out to Dorian. Doing a live show. Something I want to do in 2024, but my mindset was just different. In 2024, I didn't want to do it unless certain people could be around and certain people could see it. Well, 2025, I moved on from that. I was moving on. 2025, relationships. Yo, come here. Explain this process. And in the midst of you explaining that process, yo, you say you want to do a live show, right? Well, I got a space when we could, and that's how it happened. Relationships. Dorian, shout out to you. Getting the ball rolling. Boom. I do a live show. I love it. Icon, seats is full. I love that. I've been to so many comedy shows, so many events at Icons. I've seen events where it's packed out. I've seen events where there's nobody there. So to have an event where people are there, I got commissioners I didn't even know was there. Um, People, other podcasters, my peers were there, cheering me on, happy for me, critiqued me afterwards. You did a great job. This was nice. You could have changed that. That is all great. Just being able to pioneer some things because people aren't really doing live shows. So even to pioneer that and say, y'all, we can do this, y'all. People do like to see us talk. You can't have it's a void we can fill for this kind of arena stuff. I like that. That was dope. And then being able to partner with David Beard and one of the biggest events was the Clash of the Clashes every year for the summertime. Me being a big focal point of that interview process, and then seeing Austin Hart's, our biggest art event in Augusta. Augusta is more than the Masters. Who better? Who better to highlight art than a guy who's saying, "Yo, I know y'all know us for golf and this green grass in here, right? But we really a city that tear some shit down in art. Who better than me? Nobody." So shout out to me for even hitting Karen Gordon. I'm saying, yo, I wanna link up. Let's do something. That's how you get Tara. That's how you get New Age Sounds. That's how you get Krista Mendengar. That's how you get Denise Tucker and all these artists, all the artists that I've done. That's how you get them on to celebrate Austin the Hearts. Well, then boom, you putting this work in. You doing all this great work. You putting your best foot forward. You just doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you get awarded. You get awarded, which I would feel like is probably the most famous person I've interviewed to date. I get awarded an interview, 30-minute sit down with a guy who I watched my whole life. And out of my top 10 movies, he's in 3 of them. Out of my top 10 movies, he's in 3 of them. I'm a diehard Five Heartbeat fan. I die hard Above the Rim fan. I love the Temptations. JT wanted to be him. Shep wanted to be him. David Ruffin. Like who would have thought? When I started doing this, it was just to interview people in the city. And then I wanted to keep that episode so more than the Masters that you even get the same thing. Yo, where you from? Talk about your upbringing, just siblings. Like, I really tried my best to make that episode feel like the episodes y'all normally get. It's just for the person everybody know. And I think I did a good job of that. Don't get me wrong. I seen some. I think I could have did some things differently, but I wouldn't change nothing about it because I feel like I'll just know that for next time, for the next artist, the next big artist I'm able to interview. If that, I don't chase that kind of stuff though. But for that particular person, it meant a lot to me because I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. Grew up just all my life. I never even called him Leon. Never even. I always called him Dave Ruffin, Shep, or JT. That's it. Never. And so to interview him was great. And I just feel like I'm on a stride this year where like I've had some amazing interviews. You look at the Sheriff Gino, shout out to him. Great interview. You look at Stephen Kendrick, great interview. Like these are just interviews that I feel like just went up to where like the Jericho had to even mention me. I know they didn't want to. They had to mention me because I'm the one interviewed. I'm the one broke this news. Hey, Stephen Kendrick is running for mayor. That broke on more than the Masters. It could have broke anywhere. But that is relationships. That is also a direct reflection of relationships. Just to put it out there, I'm super cool with Q. She was hit up to do something with some people. She said, "Yo, I think it'd be dope if you had him come to this particular person. I'm that particular person, by the way. To this particular person." She texted me. She said, "Yo, would you interview Stephen Kendrick?" I said, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" It's like on a random Tuesday. "Oh, okay, cool. Can we do it today at 7:30?" "Sure. Why not?" Relationships. Relationships. She was contacted. She said, "Hey, look, I know I'm doing all this stuff here, but I got something better for you." And she put them with me. Me and Kendrick talk every week now. Relationships. Clap it up for Q. Relationships, man. Relationships. And so when somebody tell me that, like, I'm all for it. Like, don't get me wrong. Do I think I'm a one man band? I know I am because I do all this stuff every day in, day out, alone. But I couldn't do it without y'all. I couldn't do it without relationships, and I definitely couldn't do it without people gravitating towards the content I put out. I think that's the most important. Those some of the most important things. Relationships, y'all, and people gravitating towards the content I put out. I feel like you can look and see when it's and you can tell when it's a more than a mass interview. I like that. I like that I got a certain kind of standard or a certain kind of sound, certain kind of look. I love all that. Yeah, I think about it, but that comes from doing things with your people like Slim. You know what I'm saying? Doing things with, people like Dorian, and watching what they do and then bringing it back to me. Okay, I'm gonna change this up. I'm gonna change that up. Like it's all about relationships, sharing on resources. I'm telling you, I could not have had the year I'm having if I didn't have a good support system. When I say support system, I'm not talking about you know necessarily social media. I'm talking about your person, the person you could talk to every day about this, that, and the third. They give you feedback, and then y'all bounce ideas of each other. I think you should do this. You shouldn't do that. Make sure when you're doing this, you don't let people know it's you and it's not this and it's not that and it's not that. It's a lot of different conversations that's had. It's a lot of different ideas being bounced off of each other, off of different people that all make up, the outcomes that you see with Modern Masters, that all make up the outcomes that you see in some of these interviews. And so I never wanted to seem like I'm saying it's me, me, me. Every thinking out loud, I always start by thanking the audience. I thank the guests. I thank the supporters, people who share the podcast, like the podcast, whether it be on my story, on a reel, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. It don't matter. It's never about what I could do, what I can't do. My job is to come here and give y'all, and try to paint the best picture I could paint. So my brush, my instrument, it's no different than a band. And that's why I feel like everything is art is amazing. Like art is so amazing, bro. Like when I really sit back and I think about it, when I do these podcasts, whether thinking aloud or whether it's an interview, for instance, I'll take the Leon interview. I do a podcast with him. That ain't no different than a band. We got different instruments. My instrument have to be my questions. His instrument has to be his answers. They blend well for a good podcast, for a good track. Dope. Laughing, chemistry, good timing, joke here, answer there, deep answer there, joke here, quote there. It's dope. It's a good blend. That's a band. One band, one sound. That's things coming together, different things coming together to make one beautiful sound, one beautiful podcast. Another thing about art that I really want to say, and I should let up with this, but art is so amazing. Let the cop car go by. It's Augusta, Georgia. It's a war zone. But art is so amazing that not for no reason. Art is so amazing that you being consistent with your art, you approaching your art at a high level will put you in a room with people who approach and do their art at a very high level for no reason at all. When I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, mimicking 5 hard beats, I ain't play no instruments. I ain't ask no questions. I ain't paint no pictures. I thought I could rap maybe, I don't know. But I was not an artist. I did not approach anything at a high level, let alone being a big brother probably. But because I do that now, because I approach what I do at a high level, because I can paint a picture with someone's story and someone's responses, because I can ask certain questions under pressure with no notepad, just off pure listening and feeling like that's the next question to ask. Because I approach art in the way that I approach art, I was able to be in a room with someone who approaches art at a high level, play some key roles in some very, very phenomenal movies. The Five Heartbeats went platinum in every black household. Clap it up for him. But for no reason at all, just those reasons at all, I'm in the same room with him. Yo, art is crazy. Life is crazy, man. Life is crazy, but art is crazy. It's crazy. I'm doing art in Augusta, Georgia, home of the Masters, right? But it's more than the Masters, right? I'm doing art in Augusta, Georgia. People that do art in Augusta, Georgia feel like they gotta, in order to make it out of the city, in order to do this, I gotta leave. I gotta go here. I gotta go there. I gotta go up there. I gotta go this way, that way, that way. I'm doing art slap dab in the middle, Augusta, Georgia. I'm downtown, I'm uptown, I'm down the way, I'm up the way. I'm in North Augusta. I'm on the side of the bridge. I'm in Augusta, Georgia. I'm in the CSRA. And somebody thought, yo, the person to interview this big superstar is already here. Clap it up for me, bro. That's dope. That's dope. That is dope, man. Um, I think that's just amazing, man. And once again, like, I want to clap it up for everybody who's happy for me and things like that, man. But this year just it's been great, man. 2025, so far has been great. It's been so great that I'm actually I was nervous to talk about it because I felt like, damn, we got like a few more months in a year. Am I speaking too soon? But even if I am, oh well. So far this year, it's been better than last year. Like, so much has changed since last year. As far as the people I'm around, people I speak to every day, the people I'm helping, people who are grateful for the help that I'm giving. The information I receive, the love I receive. That's outside of podcasts. I'm talking about just me as Maine. Forget Bobby Boucher. Me as Maine, the love I receive, the respect level I receive. People around my peers. I shared Q earlier. Shout out to her. People around me that have went to higher levels than they were last year, and me being able to witness that, I love that. I'm always going to champion somebody being in a higher level than they were last year, and to see that and to be a part of that in real time, bro. Like it's just no better feeling. It ain't no better feeling. 2025 was definitely a great year for me. From the people I met, people I've been around, people I talk to on a daily basis. Uh, I wouldn't. I really don't know if I can sit here and be honest and say that I would change anything in 2025. I think everything happens for a reason. You don't always know why. And I use 2024 as a reason to believe that saying, because in 2024 I questioned a lot, but I was broken, but I never broke. I was broken, but never broke. Um, yeah, in 2024, I didn't understand why all that shit was happening. I'm like, yo, what the did I do? Like, what's going on? Like, yo, you cool? You up there, big man? Like, what's going on? You cool? Why all this chaos going on in 2024 was going on? And I think in 2025, I start to see, this had to happen so that could happen. This had to happen so that could happen. You had to witness this. You had to live in this. You had to experience this. You had to endure this, all of that, so that I can give you that. You can feel this. You can see what that's like. You can live in this. And I wouldn't change nothing. I wouldn't change nothing at all. Like, you don't really know in real time why things are going the way they're going. And like I said, last year, 2024, probably, arguably, the worst year of my life. I went into 2024 with taking 3 L's, 7 days, 8 days before the ball dropped. 3 L's. Lost my job, lost my pops, lost what was my mom's. I lost it. I lost it. And those are three things you need to survive. I lost everything. You need your parents. You know what I'm saying? You want your parents. You need your job. You gotta make money. I lost all three of those things in the span of 3 weeks. 23 days to be exact. 23 days. Most people would crash out. They would just quit. Probably couldn't take it. 23 days. I lost life as I knew it. 23 days. Again, I woke up one day, it was all on my own. And I don't mean on my own as far as like saying my family don't love me or there's nobody to talk to. I just meant like it was different. I had a different relationship with my pops, my moms, but it was different. It's hard not being able to wake up and just go, you know, put your head in your mom's shoulder and you feel good and go out to the world. I had to learn different techniques. It's hard trying to understand certain aspects of life or certain ways, certain things that I do, certain things. And I can't ask my mom because she can't really verbalize it. My dad is gone. I can't ask. It's hard feeling like you have friends. You're calling people friends. Like, their kids. They know your kids. If somebody were to do something to said person, you would then also do something to another person. Y'all like this, right? I like this. It's hard when you separate from something that y'all have in common, whether it's employment, whatever, and you don't hear from them again. That's hard. It's hard when your phone is ringing 4, 5, 6 times an hour to maybe twice in a day. That's hard to deal with. It's hard when you've done so much for so many people, and you don't hear from people. They're not answering the phone, or your phone not ringing. They're not. It's just it's a lot to to take on amid real life situations. You lose both parents. You lose your job. It's a lot to take on. It's a lot to take on, and so everything that I had, everything that was attached to me, everything that I felt like, this is what it is. Life has shown me that wasn't what it was, right? But it had to happen. Everything that happened had to happen. I had to witness things. I had to see people for who they were. And I think that's why even now, like, I'm real big on respect. Like, I've always been big on respect, but I'm more big on respect now because I went through some things where it's like, really, when you feel a way, or you have a deep connection with somebody, or you love somebody, whatever the case may be, I think we tend to allow things we wouldn't normally allow on our worst day. And the reason why I take disrespect so I don't take it lightly, because when you think about the thought process that go into it, is for one, the thought process. But not only that, it's like, even if you do, because most times you want to forgive and forget. You want to forgive and move on. But it's like, what's the chances? Like, you forgive somebody, when somebody disrespects you and you forgive them, I just feel like you also saying, okay, well, do it again. That's how I look at it. I like when somebody disrespect you and you give them a second chance. It's like, I know to most people, you're like, well, I forgave him. He was sorry. I forgave her. She was sorry. Misunderstanding. I understand it now. I can understand why. Whatever, right? You start to be like, okay, cool. But really think about it, like, okay, you disrespected me. I never would have thought that, whatever, cool, boom, boom. We good. And they do it again. You allow that. You got to stop disrespecting the tracks right there. Mm-mm. That's how you got to do it. And I'm real big on that. That's why, and I look at a lot of acts as disrespect now, because I think once you've experienced certain things, I ain't gonna sit here and say it's trauma or whatever, because I don't want to get into all the trauma word and that vocabulary. But I do think your body and your mind trains itself to look out for signs of anything that hurts you, whether it be betrayal, whether it be physical violence or harm being done to you, whether it be something emotional, spiritually. I think your mind and your body trains its oneself to start to look for signs. And I think when I it's certain things now I'll look at a disrespect just because of things that I've been through. Wasting my time is disrespect, not because my time is more valuable than yours, but just because my time is valuable. I got two daughters I can hang with rather than wasting my time with whatever it is. I don't care what it is. So waste my time is always gonna be taken as a form of disrespect. I could be podcasting. It's 24 hours in a day. Most of us that got, depending on what kind of job you got, you might be at your job 10 hours, might be the 8 hours, 6 hours, I don't know. Let's just say you got a job where you at the 8 hours. Let's just say you got the job and you got there 10 hours. Now you got 14 hours in a day. Let's say you sleep for 6 hours or four, depending, but now you got what, 8 hours in a day. Those other 8 hours, what you doing? What you doing? You gotta take an hour and a half to get ready for work, maybe 2 hours to get ready for work, 2 hours to wind down from work. So that's 4 hours taken in. Now you got 4 more hours. What you doing for them 4 hours? Think about how much time in a day and then think about what you waste your time doing. Or what you use it. Where do you spend your time? And are you wasting your time? Is somebody else wasting your time? So it's a lot of things to look at disrespect now that before I wouldn't have looked at disrespect. But when you go through things and you see things and you experience things, it's like you don't have no choice but to address it and you just I think sometimes you become some things you've been through and you don't want to go through it again. And I think in 2024 I went through so much nonsense and whatever. I wasn't even myself. I felt like 2024 I was in freaking airplane pilot mode or something like that. And I just woke up in 2025 and was like, let me stop playing. That's just how I feel. But I can tell you this: anybody that been around me, I'm in here. Anybody that's been around me, anybody that knows me, um, I work. I got a good work regimen. I try to do the best time management I can. I'm just a guy who got two daughters that I take care of and try my best to be there for them and show them and teach them. Try to be a great big brother. Try to be a great uncle. I'm still a son. I try to be the best son I can be. I'm a leader. I try to be the best leader I could be. I pioneer things. I try to be the best pioneer I can be. I try to be the best person I could be. That's all I really could do. That's all I really know how to do. And so, you know, knowing all that and experiencing all the things that I experienced, I feel like I'm at a point now where, I kind of hit a stride. I'm at a chill point in my life right now. I'm just cruising. But I want great for everybody. I want what's best for everybody. I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to do well. Even if it's better than me, I don't care. I just want best for everybody. And with me, I just feel like you know, this year has been a good year for me, and I want to thank everybody that's a part of it. I want to thank God. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank my peers for pushing me forward and making me feel. I want to let me stop real quick. What's this 50? I want to definitely say that, man, real quick. I want to shout out all my peers. When I say peers, I mean podcasters, content creators, fashion designers, people who are in the arts world, uh, every day making content, and we all sharing resources, talking to each other. Whether you're a fashion designer, a podcaster, a videographer, photographer, sometimes rapper, a singer, band member, you draw, you paint, you write books, short stories, you sell something, merch, but you're designing at the same time. Whatever it is that you do, that's art, that's content create, whatever. I want to thank y'all because a lot of my peers really uplift me to the highest of highs, man. Like sometimes y'all send me messages, y'all don't know. I think in y'all mind, I don't know how I come off. If I come off as like I might spaz or I'm not accepting of certain things or I'm anti. I don't know. If I do, I'm sorry, but y'all do a great job, man, of just making me feel like I'm that nigga. Like for real. Like my peers, I got the greatest peers. Like, and I don't mean it because they make me feel good. I'm just saying like they not afraid to ask me questions. I don't feel like none of them be hating on me. We I see even at times where I feel like I might have started something and they tried to they wanted to do it or they want not just podcasting anything. It could be an episode, whatever. I like that. I like that because I'm flattered by it to an extent. Like I like the fact that my peers don't have a problem saying, "Yo, you did great." I like the fact that at my show, my live show, I had fellow podcasters in there saying, "Yo, this was dope. We really appreciate it." I clap it up for my peers one time, man. Clap it up for everybody for my peers, man. Y'all amazing. Like all my peers are amazing, man. From people who sell merch and design clothes, videographers, all y'all, yeah, all my peers. I want to shout out all y'all, man. Real quick, shout out to Keith, man. This is his motion. This is his brand. Nice shirt, like the way it fit. I feel a little strong wearing this shirt. I ain't gonna lie. Might put somebody in a headlock. You know what I'm saying? Probably my daughters. They love me to death. But yeah, man, like 2025 been a great year. I appreciate y'all, man. I know it's thinking I was a little choppy. I'm sorry. Um, I ain't did thinking aloud in so long. But I'm gonna have a theme based soon. Let me know what y'all want to hear. What y'all want me to talk about. If it's a certain topic y'all want me to talk about. Um, I want to end with this, man. My city, the city I live in. Um, a lot going on right now, man. A lot of young violence going on. Um, the only thing I can say is this, man. I think the common theme right now is solutions. Solutions, it's easy to say. Solutions, that's what we need. Now y'all go find them, right? It's easy for somebody to say that, right? Solutions. Um, Having that dialogue and those conversations and the try and fail tribulations and procedures and things like that is where solutions gonna come into play at. It's not gonna come into play in just the comment section on Facebook under a post. It's not gonna come into play off of just going live and just talking about it. Those are things that's gonna help get to a solution, but a solution gonna be, like I said, trial and failing. What work, what don't work. Let's go live. Let's talk. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, let's go. Let's do something else. Let's go down to this establishment here. Let's get some parents involved. Let's you take you take some names. You take some names. You take some names. It's gonna take a whole community. It can't just be the popular people in the community. It can't just be the people that they got kids. It's gonna have to be a whole community effort. And shout out to AUG Explain. Shout out to everybody that is actively and seriously looking for solutions to some of the problems in the city. I want to clap it up for y'all for that because believe it or not, we have people that we take time out of our day on a random Tuesday sometimes and we go vote. And we vote them in office and they don't look for solutions. So, if people that want the community to change gonna do it, why the hell not, right? Um, Morning Masters podcast, man. I want to just thank everybody for supporting me. Of course, thank you to the Greater Augusta Arts Council. Thanks, Ms. Denise Tucker. Thanks, Ms. Karen Gordon. Thanks, Kig. Thanks, Dorian. Thanks, excuse me. Thanks, Crystal Mendengal. Thank everybody that been on the podcast. Thank everybody that is creating art. Thank everybody who watches the art. Thank you to anybody who um, is a fan of me. Thank you to anybody who has had a hand in this amazing year, whether it's giving me great advice, whether it's giving me sound advice, a hug, just hear me out, listen to me talk, let me bounce ideas off you, criticism, feedback, whether it's good or bad. I want to thank all of y'all. Thank everybody. More than Matt's podcast. Be out, man. Thank you.